thanks to the support as a channel member, Tyler Huffman. Well, folks, we have some good news and some, I guess it's good news. I would consider it. We've sold Kane Taylor. I would consider that bad news, but I guess it's one of those things we had to do as part of balancing the books. The good news is, though, after all this time, we finally got rid of Clive Aguilar on his £25,000 a week salary, and now we don't have a single player at the club earning more than £10,000 a week. They're still high salaries for the league that we're in, but it's a little bit more sensible than it has been previously. Hello and welcome to part 17 of Saving Man City. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the league. We're away against both Wycombe and Colchester. Since you were last with me, we had a little bit of a worrisome patch throughout January. As you can see, that game we saw against Manchester United really knocked the stuffing out of us, and we actually ended up going 5 league games without a win, and it was problematic for a time there, but we have since won our last 3 league games, which puts us back into 3rd place in the league, albeit having played more games than the team above us and the team below us. We're very much still in the hunt for the playoffs. Are we in an automatic promotion push? Maybe we are, but Blackpool and certainly Bristol City, who absolutely battered us, are probably better than we are. It is interesting to see as well that despite all my moaning about strikers, Jimmy J. Morgan is the 2nd top scorer in the league with 17 goals, or 17 league goals now. In fact, it is just 17 goals. He didn't score any in the Cups. And that's 17 goals from 22 starts. And a lot of those starts have come from playing out wide as well. So he's probably a goal-a-game striker when he starts as a striker after all that whinging. So what do I know, eh? Transfer-wise, we mentioned in the intro what we've done. Kane Taylor has left the club. It's not as much money as I would have liked. Brentford offering £4.5 million, plus the possibility of some add-ons, and they've loaned him back until the end of the season on a no salary basis. It hasn't made a massive impact on this. The thing that made the most impact in January was an enormous pile of player sale money coming through on the final day of the month. I don't know where that shows up on here. Am I looking at? I'm looking at expenditure. That's why I can't find it. So that was the Kane Taylor money coming in. We did get some board investment, which is always very welcome. And somewhere on here, yeah, players sold, £79 million of a players sold. It must have been the start of January, because it's only showing us 4.6 million in January itself. So it must have come through right at the end of December. But we got a big pile of cash. That combined with the Kane Taylor money and this board investment, which is very welcome. They don't come along very often, but when they do, they're difference makers. That means, or it did mean, as we hit the end of January, we were actually on a positive bank balance. It's still since gone back to negative again because of the loan repayments, but the projection for the end of the season is now minus 75 million. And I am quietly confident that we will survive the season without going into administration. It's mid-February, and that's not a disaster as far as I'm concerned. Next season is going to be an interesting one. We have new elections for a new chairman coming up at the end of this season. Our previous, or our current chairman, who has been investing every now and again, as we've just seen there, has decided not to stand for re-election. Remember, this club can't be purchased by an outside investor. It can only be via election that we get a new chairman come in. So it'll be interesting to see if a change in chairman, which we know is definitely happening in the summer, whether that's going to impact how often money is invested into the club. I don't know if it does, is the honest answer there. And then, of course, the other transfer, as mentioned, we finally got rid of Clive Aguilar. He is a player I wouldn't have been against keeping around. The fact that he's gone on a massive pay cut really does sting. He wouldn't take that kind of pay cut with us. And if it hadn't have been for that 25 grand a week that he was on, he probably would have been our starting centre-back for the last 3 years and would be a star for us by now. As it is, we've sold him on at less than we paid for him to go back to Peru, back to the club he signed for us from, actually. And I imagine there'll be a sell-on for him at some point when he inevitably goes to a bigger club, because he is good enough to play in England. It's just we couldn't justify that salary. We've managed to get our wage budget down now, though, to £177,000 a week we're spending on wages. It's still a lot for League One, but if and when we get promoted, That's really low in the Championship. So we're actually getting to a more sensible level, and we don't have any players on more than £10,000 a week. James Trafford, the highest paid player, and I think that's fair for our first choice goalkeeper and club captain and player who's played more games than anybody else since the save started. I think that's pretty reasonable. And of course, the transfer embargo is lifted in the summer. So lots of reasons to be cheerful. But what we need now is a couple of away wins to make sure we are in this promotion hunt. So we are going with Trafford in goal, a back four of Wilson, Esbrand and Bette, Charles and Sweet, Wells, Morrison behind Fiorini and Taylor in midfield, Hamilton on the left, Dixon on the right, Coburn up front. Coburn's actually been in pretty decent form as well, both him and Morgan, proving that when they play as strikers, they're pretty good. Coburn, of course, always plays as a striker because it's the only position he can do. But I'm kind of rotating him and Morgan at this point. They're both scoring fairly regularly. That problem we had earlier in the season where we couldn't find goals, touch wood, we seem to be coming out the back of. And Wilson Esbrand has picked up an injury 10 minutes in, which is not ideal. Galvez can come on for him to play left back. We were hoping to sell one of those two in January. It didn't happen. That now gets pushed back until summer. Oh, that's a massive deflection to take it past the goalkeeper for Fiorini to grab his fifth of the season. We'll take him because now it's all about pushing on for the Championship. Because as far as I'm concerned, if we can hit the Championship, no transfer embargo, no administration, I think player values go up a lot if we hit the Championship. Having to sell Kane Taylor for £4.5 million in League One, yeah, fair enough. But if we have someone like Micah Hamilton that we're selling as a Championship team, I think at that point you can start looking at £10-15 million for a player as a Championship team. I think it makes that much of a difference. So getting promoted this season, absolutely crucial. Obviously, we'd like to do it automatically because me and the playoffs are not friends, either in Football Manager or more recently in real life. I don't like the playoffs, so I'd like to go up automatically. If we have to do it via the playoffs, then so be it. But as far as I'm concerned, if we win every game for the rest of the season, which we're probably not going to do, but if we were to win every game for the rest of the season, we'd go up automatically. Not as champions, because Bristol City are absurd, but that second place spot is very much up for grabs, and we're one of the teams in a position to potentially grab it, and we need to make sure that's exactly what we do. Taylor looked like he'd been fouled there. He certainly fell over. Nothing has been given, and Wickham trying to get the ball clear, and we've been caught a little bit here with players committed forward, but Micah Hamilton comes back, gets the tackling. That's the advantage of having a central midfielder playing out on the left wing. He can actually get back and get tackles in that kind of situation. Not that it's made any difference at all, because Wickham have come up the other end and scored, although it's been disallowed for offside. Lovely old stuff. I don't even know, I was going to say I don't even know who the offside is. Any one of the three, they were all off. Fair enough then. How are Blackpool getting on? Blackpool are drawing away against Birmingham. They've got a game in hand over us. So we do need to make that up on Blackpool at some point. And then, of course, Charlton behind us, 5 points behind, but have 2 games in hand on us. It's probably one of us 3 at the moment you would put money on being that second automatic promotion team. And I guess just based on the fact that we're Manchester City, I imagine the media would think we're pretty likely to get there. Although I think last time I checked, we were 5th favourites for promotion, according to the media prediction page. That was very nearly a very upsetting goal to concede, because we just kind of very carelessly gave the ball away in midfield and created a chance. Right, Thorndyke's going to come on midfield, and we are going to bring on Flynn at the back, push Charles to there, and just keep things fresh in all the areas where things need to be fresh. If any deodorant companies want to sponsor me with phrases like that, I mean, that's a ready-made tagline for you. Fiorini to Thorndyke, ball over the top, or an attempt at a ball over the top, trying to find Hamilton, can't find him, comes back to Fiorini again, and now Shea Charles playing in one of his many positions today, right back. And there is Micah Hamilton, and that's a 13th goal of the season for him. And it's, like I say, a guy who's playing that well and scoring this many goals and can play in as many positions as Micah Hamilton can do. I've got to believe now, if we're selling him as a Championship player, we get 8 figures for him, because why shouldn't we? He's still young. He's in incredible form. We've got to start thinking in terms of getting Championship money for these players now. And having a big summer, both in terms of moving on some of these young superstars that we've still got and freshening things back up again at the other end with a transfer window, first one of the save, where we're actually allowed to do some transfers. We're not going to go crazy. We're not going to spend a load of money, but we are going to try and build a squad that can get promoted from the Championship at the first time of asking. That is, of course, assuming we are in the Championship, which is a pretty strong assumption based on the fact we're not yet in the automatic promotion spots. But you got to believe we're 3-0 up away from home against one of the other teams who are chasing for the playoff spots here. That wobble that we had in January seems well and truly over. This is going to be 4 wins on the bounce, and we are looking very, very good in this match, although Wycombe are refusing to just accept that we're better than them and keep trying to score goals, which is very frustrating. Fantastic save by Trafford, though, there, but Wycombe have a corner. About 15 minutes left in the game. We're 3-0 up. There shouldn't be any problems for us from here, but oh, look at that from Trafford. Trafford, another one who had his little bit of a wobble mid-season and now seems to be absolutely fine. Very comfortable in what he's doing now, James Trafford. Right, we are going to bring Wright Phillips on to play right back, which we do from time to time. No, I mean, the main reason is he's got Wright in his name. So to me, that means he must be able to play right back. That is the full extent of the logic there. And we're going to bring Morgan on up front with 10, 15 minutes to go at the expense of Coburn, who has been pretty quiet today, but it did give us the opportunity to give Morgan a little bit of a rest. He's played a lot of football lately, and we've got 2 good strikers. We may as well rotate them both. I'm not quite sure what Galvez has done there. Diving header for not really even getting the ball clear, and we are struggling to get a hold of the football here and get it down the other end of the pitch. And it's another Wycombe corner, and if we were anything less than 3-0 up, I'd be feeling a little bit nervous because Wycombe seem to be all over us in the last few minutes of this game. James Trafford is just gobbling up these corners all day long, though. They're not troubling him at all. And it's another big ball forward from Wycombe. Galvez lumps it forward again, but once again, it comes straight back at us. And our defence is looking pretty shambolic at the moment. We are all over the place. Wycombe are in, and that one's not being disallowed. It's 1 back for them with 10 minutes to go in the match. Our defensive line is all over the place here. We've got, what's that, Flynn pushing up, and Bette's trying to cut in behind him. Oh, it was an absolute shambles. 3-1 now. Please don't throw this away, chaps. We've been talking about life in the Championship. We've been talking about automatic promotion, 4 wins on the bounce. Let's not balls it up from here, eh? Wycombe, a little bit of defensive chaos of their own, but they've actually come away with the ball and they've got in behind us again here. If they score a second, I'm going to be very, very upset. We just about get away with that one. But, I mean, this is... they like to add a little bit of stress in at the end of the game, don't they? For goodness sake, Football Manager, can we not just have a final whistle? Cross comes in again and Bette heads it clear. And, oh my word, wellied in from well out, and it's kind of hit Trafford in the shin and fortuitously spun out for a corner, which comes in again. And this time, Trafford not coming out to dominantly catch it. He's conceded a goal now, and he's not feeling as confident as he was before. And it is yet another Wycombe corner. Comes in to that far post, and Bette heads clear. Trafford's just not coming for them anymore. And this time, he does manage to get his hands safely on the football. But it has been a very strong second half from Wycombe. We've defended... I was going to say we defended well. We haven't really. We've just rode our luck a little bit towards the end of that match. We'll take it. It's 4 wins on the bounce. We'll always take that. But yeah, that was alarming for spells in that game. But now we're away against Colchester, who are down in the bottom half of the table. And you'd like to think we should be able to make it 5 wins on the bounce and really start to put some pressure on Blackpool. Folks, just want to take a moment to thank today's episode sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. For example, my partner Anna has been struggling a little bit lately with coming to terms with our son Andy moving out of home, and she's found therapy to be really valuable in helping her to process it all. To get started with BetterHelp, you just need to answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist in their network. And from there, you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's text, chat, phone call, video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions for whenever they're convenient. And if your therapist ends up not being a good fit for you, you can change them to a different one at any time at no additional cost. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you'd expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, offers more flexibility, and at a more affordable price. And talking of that affordable price, you can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/LOLLUJO. That's betterhelp.com/LOLLUJO for 10% off your first month. Or you can just click the link at the top of the description below. It's right there for you. What are you waiting for? It's right there. Right, a few changes for the Colchester game as we try to keep everybody fresh for the run-in. The back four is now Flynn and Bete, Katongo and Sweet. Charles is going to sit at the base of the midfield today while, where is he? T'other guy, Wells Morrison, sits this one out completely, having a little bit of a rest. We've got Fiorini and Taylor in midfield, Hamilton and Dixon out wide, and Morgan comes back in up front. If we can make this 5 wins on the bounce, then I am going to start to believe that automatic promotion could be in our future, which would be delicious, quite frankly. We're now played as many games as Blackpool, so it looks like they've played their game in hand and won it, which means there's a 4-point gap between us and them now. So we do need to keep piling the pressure on. We do need more wins. In other news, the elections for the new chairman are taking place in the next week. So we will know in tomorrow's episode what I say tomorrow. There is no episode tomorrow. Just as a reminder, I know we've had weekend episodes throughout the series so far. That was never going to be the thing long term. We are on a Monday to Friday schedule as normal. So it'll be Monday's episode. We will find out if what kind of impact the new chairman is likely to have on the team. I suspect none. That's why I'm not making too much of a big deal about it. If it does make a massive impact, expect me to make a song and dance about it on Monday's thumbnail, so you'll know before you even click. But that is fairly tame from Flynn into the hands of the Colchester goalkeeper. Look, we've absolutely packed out the away end at Colchester. The home fans haven't bothered turning up. We're a big team. The other thing, of course, with promotion hopefully on the horizon, is at what point do we outgrow Gig Lane? I would argue probably the Championship is too high a level for us still to be playing at Gig Lane. I mean, it might not be a problem. Colchester have just gone 1-0 up. And if we don't go up automatically, I'm not at all confident in playoffs. So maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, worrying about what ground we're going to play in a higher league next year. Meanwhile, here we are going a goal down against a team we really shouldn't be losing against. A very so-so mid-table, not very interesting League One team. Cross comes in, Flynn heads cleared. Dixon now looking to get a break going. If he can release Morgan, I think Morgan was probably offside. But if the flag stays down, it was a big chance. I mean, he missed the big chance and the flag didn't stay down. So both sides of that, not really the way we wanted them to turn out. How are Blackpool getting on? It looks like it's a 5-point gap above us at the moment, so I guess they're drawing their game. If we lose and they win, that starts to become really quite difficult to catch them, and that's so poor from Hamilton. He's better than that. He should be, if he's going to shoot, at least put it on his good foot, on his right foot, but really, just having a wild swing at it from there, not really acceptable. That being said, it led to the corner, and the corner led to the equaliser, so once again, I bow to the superior knowledge of my players. Hamilton knew what he was doing all along, and we don't go 1-0 up. We go 1-1 up, and Mbete is leaping higher than everybody else to put that past the Colchester goalkeeper. Right, the plan now is to push on and score again. Blackpool's still drawing in their game, so there is the opportunity here for us to close the gap on them a little bit. If we can find a way to win our match while they drop points in theirs, we start to tighten the screw. Fiorini out wide, falls to Taylor, and he has a wild swing at it. Of course, selling him to Brentford means he gets to team up with Liam Delap, and I think, did Harwood Bellis go there as well? Mbete scored his second of the game. But Brentford is starting to become a little bit of a Man City rejects club. They keep throwing money at us, which is very nice. But it will be interesting one day when we make it to the Premier League, if Brentford are still there, how many of our former boys are knocking around in their team, and more to the point, how many of them can we then steal back off them and bring back home to Manchester City? 2 points behind Blackpool as things stand. That is important. Let's hopefully not throw this away now. We started poorly, but we are now ahead in this match, and Bete is tiring. Samuel can come on for him. And Hamilton has just had a poor game today. So we'll bring Wright Phillips on. We can swap Dixon over to that left-hand side. And that will do for now. All eyes on Lincoln versus Blackpool. Lincoln are down in mid-table as well. But if they can find a way to grab a goal against Blackpool here to bring that deficit to 1 point, that would be really rather super. We're gonna swap the system around because we've run out of defensive midfield players. We're just going to shuffle the midfield around a little bit as well, and Sweet can come off for Galvez. Have I not paused the game in the background? This seems like rookie stuff that we should be pausing the match. Hopefully, I don't think we missed anything. We've shuffled around the midfield and the defence there, which is ideal when you're 1-0 up and trying to defend a league. Just change your tactic and swap everybody around. I think the only player still in the position he was in at the start of the game is Morgan, apart from the goalkeeper. But it doesn't matter because we've secured the victory anyway. I didn't see what happened with Lincoln Blackpool, 0-0 there. So it's just a 2-point gap at the top of the league with 11 games to play. It is going to be close. I think at the very least, we're going to have the playoffs in our future. And by Monday, we'll know whether or not we were able to convert this into an automatic promotion. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.